है ना? दिस इज द होल पॉइंट ऑफ ऑनलाइन क्लास, कि आप पूरी क्लास दोबारा रिवाइज कर सकते हो, रिवाइंड कर सकते हो, पॉज कर सकते हो, है ना? एंड यू हैव द रिसोर्सेस, आपके पास चैप्टर है, आपके पास चैप्टर के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं उनके आंसर्स हैं, न्यू वर्ड्स हैं, और एक रिसोर्स है जो आपको पूरा पोम या चैप्टर अच्छे से समझाता है ना? तो सब कुछ है आपको जो भी रिवीजन के लिए चाहिए, और आपके पास क्लास का वीडियो है ना? सो मेक श्योर यू यूज इट टू योर एडवांटेज बेटा. ऑलराइट, ओके, सो लेट्स बिगिन. कौन गेस करेगा व्हाट इज टुडेज चैप्टर, टुडेज पोम दैट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी? Money. Today's poem is money. Now, importance of money. कोई है जिसको नहीं पता importance of money? सबको पता है, राइट?
Yes, ma'am.
हमें अब खाने पीने, पढ़ाई करने, बुक्स खरीदने, स्टेशनरी खरीदना, स्कूल फीस देना, सबके लिए मनी चाहिए. हॉस्पिटल जाते हैं तो डॉक्टर को फीस होती है, फिर आके दवाइयाँ खरीदते हैं, राइट? हेल्दी खाने के लिए फ्रूट्स, फल, सब्जी, दाल, रोटी, सैलड, इसके लिए हमें वी नीड मनी. तो टू बाय अ बेड, टू बाय a scooter, a cycle, we need money, right? तो money is important for everything. अगर आप बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो आपको मनी चाहिए, आपको फूड, क्लोथ्स और बाकी नेसेसिटीज के लिए यू नीड मनी, एजुकेशन और हेल्थ केयर के लिए यू नीड मनी, और फ्यूचर इमरजेंसीज के लिए भी यू नीड मनी. कोई अच्छी ऐसी जरूरत आ जाए, एकदम से कोई खर्चा आ जाए ऊपर, किसी की तबीयत खराब हो जाए या किसी कहीं जाना पड़ जाए, तो उसके लिए भी वी नीड मनी. अच्छा, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. मनी स्पेंड जुडिशियसली. पैसा खर्च करना बहुत आसान है, राइट? बट जुडिशियसली मीन्स समझदारी से. जो चीज 10 रुपए में हो सकती है उसके लिए 50 रुपए ना खर्चो. एंड यूजिंग मनी फॉर to support and help other people, right? So money spent judiciously. You can donate to the poor and needy, somebody who needs financial help. आप उनकी, जब आप अपनी एजुकेशन के लिए पे करते हैं तो दैट इज जुडिशियस स्पेंडिंग. जब आप घर की जरूरतों के लिए, नेसेसिटीज के लिए जब आप पे करते हैं, दैट इज ऑल्सो जुडिशियस स्पेंडिंग. When you save money, that is also judicious, and donating to the poor and needy is also judicious use of money. Make a list of good qualities of your friend. We all have good friends. कौन बताएगा? What are the good qualities of your friends? Who will tell me? बोलो. Do you want your friend to be honest? Yes. If your friend is not honest with you, you can't trust your friend. Do you want your friend to be kind? Do you want your friend to be helpful to you? Yes. If he's not helpful, he's not a friend. If she's not helpful, she's not a friend. Right? And kind. It's important to have kindness in your heart. And hardworking, of course. अगर आपका फ्रेंड मेहनत नहीं करता है अपनी पढ़ाई में, अपने काम में, तो then you can't both grow together. दोनों लाइफ में मेहनत करो. So it is important for your friend also to work hard. This is very interesting. Money is the root cause of all evil. एक बार इसका ट्रांसलेशन हम देख लेते हैं.
हे सर्व अनर्थांचे मूळ आहे यावर आपली मते मांडा.
राइट. तो आपको किस चीज पे व्यूज देनी है? मनी इज द रूट कॉज ऑफ ऑल इविल.
पैसा हे सर्व अनर्थांचे मूळ आहे.
ठीक है. तो ये देखते हैं क्या है. ओके. What I feel is money is not evil by itself. It becomes harmful when people become greedy and misuse it. Money should be earned honestly and spent wisely. इसका एक बार ट्रांसलेशन देख लेते हैं. To help us understand that money is not evil, people behave in evil ways.
पैसा स्वतःहून वाईट नसतो. जेव्हा लोक लोभी बनतात आणि त्याचा गैरवापर करतात तेव्हा तो हानिकारक ठरतो. पैसा प्रामाणिकपणे कमवावा आणि शहाणपणाने खर्च करावा.
Okay. Now this question is very interesting. Do you lend money to your friend? आप अपने दोस्तों को पैसे उधार देते हैं क्या? Yes. If you say yes, what are the reasons? I lend money to my friend when they genuinely need it because helping a friend in difficulty is a good habit. तो मैं जब अपने फ्रेंड को मुझे लगता है कि उसको वाकई जरूरत है, so I lend my friend money. लेकिन अगर मुझे लगता है कि उसको जरूरत नहीं है या वो फिजूल खर्ची कर रहा है या वो वापस नहीं देगा, उसने लास्ट टाइम भी वापस नहीं दिया था, तो I do not lend him money if he doesn't return my money, and secondly, if he is wasting it on unnecessary expenditure. Okay? All right. So let us learn about the poet first. He's a he's an English poet. William Davis was a Welsh poet and writer. He spent a significant part of his life as a tramp in UK and United States. He became a peddler and street singer. After several years of a wandering life, he published his first volume, The Soul's Destroyer and Other Poems. The poem tells us that the rich man who wants to be a poor man to find real happiness. It is when we do not have money or have lost our money, we realize how important money is. At the end, the poet says that now he doesn't have money, he has true friends, right? जब पैसा आता है तो आपके बहुत सारे friends बन जाते हैं because you have money, so you make a lot of friends. And when you don't have money, only your real friends stay with you. बाकी जो मतलबी दोस्त होते हैं, they all leave. They do not stay with you because you don't have any money. All right. The poet says that when you have money, you have fake friends. सब आपके दोस्त बन जाते हैं when you have money. Everybody wants to be your friend. Everyone says good things about you. They want to be around you so that they can use your money. And when you have no money, empty pockets, only real friends stay with you. Or tabhi you get real, true happiness. So the poet realizes that having money only brought him fake friends. It is only when he lost his money that he found true happiness and real friends. So ye ek poem ka, it's a big message in the poem. Let's quickly see the translation.
कवीला जाणीव होते की पैसा असल्यामुळे त्याला केवळ बनावट मित्रच मिळाले. जेव्हा त्याने आपला पैसा गमावला तेव्हाच त्याला खरा आनंद आणि खरे मित्र मिळाले.
Right? Okay. This is about the poet. हमारे जो W.H. Davies हैं, he lived like a tramp. Tramp is a homeless traveler. तो थैला उठा के यहाँ वहाँ वो he traveled like a homeless traveler. वो यूके भी गए, अमेरिका भी गए, और उन्होंने वो गरीबी के दिन he has lived them. वो सिर्फ बात नहीं कर रहे हैं पॉवर्टी की, उन्होंने पॉवर्टी देखी है, उन्होंने गरीबी देखी है. He also worked as a street singer. That means जो लोग गली में, मार्केट्स में, शॉप्स पे, फुटपाथ पे गाना गाते हैं और लोग उनको पैसे देते हैं उनका गाना सुन के. He has done that. He sang on the streets to survive. The realization. After a wandering life, he became a published poet. He knew both sides of the coin, making his message about money highly authentic. तो उन्होंने, जब उनकी बुक छपी, वो अमीर हो गए, उनके पास पैसा आ गया, तो उन्होंने दोनों तरफ की लाइफ देखी थी. उन्होंने पॉवर्टी भी देखी थी, गरीबी भी देखी थी, और उन्होंने रिचनेस भी देखी थी. He had also seen a lot of money. तो वो जो लिखते थे, दिल से लिखते थे, आप बीती लिखते थे. Okay, so this is the vocabulary in the poem. False माने नकली, not real, pretending to be a friend just to get your money. क्योंकि आपके पास पैसे हैं, somebody tries to pretend to be your friend, और जब आपके पैसे खत्म हो जाते हैं, those people leave. Trumpet. Trumpet माने बाजा बजाना, माने शोर मचाना. To show off. कहते हैं ना, थोता चना बाजे घना. So when you show off a lot, you are not being authentic or real. Humming is when you close your lips and you're just singing with closed lips. This is humming, right? जब आप खुश होते हो, आप hum कर रहे हो और काम कर रहे हो, right? That's humming. Frown is, this is a frown. When you're angry or you're sad or you're upset. तो पोम में आप देखेंगे जो अमीर लोग हैं, जो पैसे वाले हैं, वो हमेशा किसी ना किसी चीज से नाराज रहते हैं, या उदास रहते हैं, या परेशान रहते हैं. They have a frown on their face. Okay, now let's read the poem. Stanza 1 and stanza 2. When I had money, oh, I knew no joy till I went poor. For many a false as a friend came knocking all day at my door. कहते हैं जब पैसा था, I had so many friends, but मुझे असली joy तब पता चला, असली friends मुझे तब पता चले when I became poor. Then I felt like a child that holds a trumpet that he must not blow because a man is dead. Right? So what does he mean? Pehle to the trap of money. When the poet was rich, people faked being his friend to get his money. So when he had money, people pretended to be his friend. Why? Because they wanted to use his money.
पैशाचे जाळे. जेव्हा कवी श्रीमंत होता, तेव्हा लोक त्याचे पैसे मिळवण्यासाठी मित्र असल्याचे नाटक करत असत.
Right? Now, the trapped child. Then he says he felt like a child who has a toy trumpet but is not allowed to blow it because someone died. So that means इस आर्टिफिशियल वर्ल्ड में he could not express his real feelings. उसको घुटन हो रही थी, but he could not express his real feelings. He felt like a trapped child जिसके हाथ में trumpet है, but the child cannot blow the trumpet because it will hurt someone's emotions, right? Okay, let's look at the translation.
कोंडलेला मुलगा, त्याला एखाद्या अशा मुलासारखे वाटत होते ज्याच्याकडे खेळण्यातील तुतारी आहे, पण कोणाच्या तरी मृत्यूमुळे ती वाजवण्याची त्याला परवानगी नाही. या दिखाऊ आणि श्रीमंत जगात त्याला आपल्या खऱ्या भावना व्यक्त करता येत नव्हत्या किंवा त्याला जसा आहे तसे राहता येत नव्हते.
ठीक है, so that is how the poet feels with his money. So that is the trap of money. कि उसके दिमाग में बहुत सारी फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं. Now he is happy that he knows reality, but he cannot talk about it. So he feels like a child who has a toy trumpet, but is not allowed to blow it. बच्चा है, उसके हाथ में ट्रम्पेट है, वो बजाना चाहता है, बट उसको कोई कह रहा है नहीं 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 बजाना, क्योंकि पास में someone has died. The joy of less. He says we can also be happy when we have less. We don't need a lot to be happy. Much have I thought of life and seen how poor men's hearts are ever light, and how their wives do hum like bees about their work from morn to light. So he says he has seen the joy of less. He notices how poor people are actually happier and their hearts are light, and their wives sing happily while working hard. So they're happy to work hard, make money, and they're happy with what they have. Poor people know how to be happy. The joy of less.
द जॉय ऑफ लेस, द जॉय ऑफ लेस कवीच्या लक्षात येते की गरीब लोक खरोखरच अधिक आनंदी असतात. त्यांची मने हलकी फुलकी असतात. त्यांची पत्नी कठोर परिश्रम करतानाही आनंदाने गाणी गाते.
तो कठोर परिश्रम में भी वो खुश है. They are not complaining. They are happy in spite of having less. Poor men think I need not go up so much as the rich men should come down. He says, poor people, instead of getting rich, it is the rich people who should know what it is to be poor so that they can find real joy in their lives. उनका मतलब है जब तक अमीर लोगों के पास कम नहीं होगा, they will not know what it is to be happy. He says poor को अमीर होने की जरूरत नहीं है. जो ज्यादा अमीर हैं उनको they need to have less to be able to appreciate life, to be able to appreciate real joy in life.
एक महत्त्वाची जाणीव, सुखी होण्यासाठी गरिबांनी वरच्या पातळीवर म्हणजेच श्रीमंत जाण्याची गरज नाही. त्याऐवजी खरा आनंद मिळवण्यासाठी श्रीमंतांनीच खाली म्हणजेच साधेपणाने जगायला येण्याची गरज आहे.
ठीक है? Okay. So in stanzas 3 and 4, he talks about the joy of having less. Now stanza 5 is the final truths. Right? When I had money, oh, my many friends proved all untrue. But now I have no money, oh, my friends are real though very few. कहते हैं पहले मेरे पास पैसा था, मेरे पास बहुत सारे दोस्त थे, but I had no real friends. अब मेरे पास कोई पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन मेरे पास थोड़े दोस्त हैं, but they are all real friends. Okay.
तेव्हा माझ्याकडे पैसा होता, पैसा, अरे. माझे अनेक मित्र खोटे ठरले. पण आता माझ्याकडे पैसा नाही, अरे. माझे मित्र खरे आहेत, जरी ते थोडेच असले तरी.
Right? So he says, this is the final truth. Simple meaning, now the poet has no money, उनके पास पैसे नहीं है. Because the money is gone, the fake friends have left him. पैसा गए तो नकली दोस्त भी गए. The few friends he has left are 100% real. सिर्फ असली दोस्त उनके रह गए हैं. By losing his happiness, he finally found true. Losing his wealth, he finally found true happiness. तो जब उन्होंने वो पैसा खोया तो उन्हें असली दोस्त मिले.
आता कवीकडे पैसे नाहीत. पैसे संपल्यामुळे सर्व खोटे मित्र निघून गेले. जे काही थोडे मित्र उरले आहेत, ते मात्र 100% खरे आहेत. संपत्ती गमावल्यामुळेच त्याला अखेरीस खरा आनंद मिळाला.
Okay. So let's move on. So that is the final truth in the poem. अब वो कंपैरिजन क्या करते हैं पोम में रिच एंड पुअर के बारे में. The rich coldly frown and are unhappy, and the poor laugh often and have light hearts. Rich are surrounded by fake untrue friends. The poor have true and real friends, हालांकि they are few in number. Rich feel trapped, like a child unable to play a trumpet. The poor work happily. The rich need to come down to reality, but the poor need not go up to find joy. In spite of being poor, the poor are happy. तो जब आप ये कंपेयर करेंगे, so you talk about this when you talk about questions about money is the root of all evil. So आप बात करेंगे fake और real happiness के बारे में. So the rich experience fake happiness, the poor experience real happiness. Okay? पोम के ये figures of speech हैं. There is similes. Wife hum like bees, felt like a child. Simile में क्या होता है? Similar, as और like use होता है. So that's a simile. Repetition when a line is repeated. ये line money, money oh. Repeating a word to emphasize wealth, money. Onomatopoeia, humming is So when the word makes a sound exactly like the noise it makes. Inversion, he says, poor need not go up, rich must come down. Inversion is जब आप words का position change करते हैं एक sentence में. So instead of saying, I have thought much of life, he says, much have I thought of life. Right? So you do it for poetic effect. It is called inversion. जब आप words का order change करते हैं in a sentence for poetry or poetic effect. Right? This is the rhyme scheme in the poem. O, A, poor, B, friend, C, door, D. So A, B, C, B, poor, door, okay. And this is about the poet. उन्होंने अपने experience से लिखा है about fake happiness and real happiness. Theme is that money attracts fake friends, and true happiness comes when you live simply without greed for money. जरूरत के लिए हो, क्या था, भगवान इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं. साधु ना भूखा जाए, तो कुछ था ना कि सिर्फ इतना दीजिए कि मेरे परिवार में कोई भूखा ना सोए, और मेरे घर पे अगर कोई मेहमान आए, कोई साधु आए, तो वो भी भूखा ना जाए. So just enough for everyone, right? To lead a simple life. Style and poetic devices. There are 5 stanzas of 4 lines each. Rhyming scheme is ABCD. And message in the poem. I appreciate this poem because it teaches a timeless lesson that we should value real connection over paper money. People are crazy for money, but they should value human connection more. It reminds us that poor men's hearts are ever light. Okay, now let's focus on the questions. Money does not mean everything in life. Money cannot give you eternal happiness. True. Art, music, and literature give you unending happiness. True. Money is short-lived. True. Money cannot purchase happiness and contentment. So money needs के लिए है, but not for greed, right? Money is the solution to everything. ये हम discuss कर चुके हैं that for necessity money is important, but for greed money we should not be greedy, right? So ये हमने discuss किया था why money, we need money, but बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा करना is not a good idea, and money is not a solution to everything. Now say whether the following sentences are true or false. Correct the false statements. The poet knew no joy till he was rich. Wrong. The poet knew no joy till he was poor. The poet felt that he should talk about his poverty. Oh, not really. He's talking about his happiness when he's poor. He's not talking about his poverty. ये नहीं कह रहा है मैं गरीब हो गया, मेरे पास तो ये नहीं है, मेरे पास तो वो ही नहीं. वो ये कह रहा है कि गरीब होने के बाद मुझे अनमोल दोस्त मिले. I got some priceless friends when I became poor. So he's not talking about his poverty. When poet had money, he had many true friends. Wrong. When the poet had money, he had no true friends. When the poet became poor, he had few real friends. This is true. He says, थोड़े थे friends, but they were real friends. When give reasons for the following statements. Friends came knocking all day at poet's door. कब आते थे सब उसके दरवाजे पे? When he had money, because they wanted to use his money. Poor men's wives hum like bees because they are happy. Because they have enough for their needs, they enjoy a simple life, and they're humming because they are happy and they are simple. ये आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं. मनी मेक्स द वर्ल्ड गो राउंड. मनी के क्या नेसेसिटी है, क्या जरूरी है, और क्या कितना पैसा हमें चाहिए. हाउ मच डू वी नीड टू बी हैप्पी. Poor man need not go up as much as rich man should come down. He says poor man चाहे poor है लेकिन वो खुश है. Rich men instead of having so much are not happy. He says they need to come down, they need to experience poverty. Poor men के लिए इतनी जरूरी नहीं है कि वो rich हो, because they are already happy in their lives. Find out the meanings of the phrases given below and use them in your sentences. Be in the money. Okay. Be in the money. 1 second. Money makes the world go round. We discussed this. Money is important for food, shelter, healthcare, but it cannot buy everything. Love, friendship, peace, and happiness cannot be purchased with money. Be in the money is to have a lot of money and to be rich. After winning the lottery, he was in the money. To receive large amounts of money, especially by winning, she won lots of money in the competition. For my money, in my opinion, or according to my judgment. For my money, honesty is more valuable than wealth. Money for old rope. That means money earned very easily with little effort. He thought the job was money for old rope. Put one's money where one's mouth is. That means to support one's words with action. To believe, if you believe in the project, put your money where your mouth is. That if you think it's a good project, invest your money in this project, right? Support your words with action. Let's look at the crossword. Okay, this is the crossword. A brass musical instrument is the trumpet. Trumpet. A lowly continuous, steady continuous sound is hum. Two across. HUM, hum. Pulse. Third across. Untrue. 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 Say something. Four across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Speak. 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 Not imaginary. Real. 5 down. REAL. Real. Ponder. Ponder is think. 6 down. THINK. Think. Stinging insects. Bees. 7 down. BEES. Bees. In large number. 8 down. In large numbers. 8 down is many. 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 Strike a surface noisily. How do you strike a surface noisily? A knock. 9 down. KNOCK. 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 Okay. All right. We have discussed this table already. Happy. Let's take a look. Okay. So these are the figures of speech in this poem. Inversion, we discussed. You change the order of the words for poetic effect. Much have I thought of life and seen. तो अगर इसको हम normal sentence की तरह बोलते तो हम बोलते I have seen and thought much of life. लेकिन in the poem it has been changed to much have I thought of life and seen. Okay, the normal word order is changed for poetic effect. इसको हम कहते हैं inversion, to invert the order of words. Simile comes from the word similar, जहाँ पे आप as और like use करते हो. As cold as light as heavy as, like a child, like a cloud, like a bird. ठीक है? These are all similes. And then I felt like a child that holds. The poet compares himself to a child using like. Repetition. Money इसमें repeat हुआ है for emphasis. जब हम किसी चीज पे हमें जोर डालना होता है तो we say something again and again and again. So here money is used again and again in the poem for emphasis, to emphasize on the word money. Onomatopoeia is when the word sounds like the sound itself. Hum sounds like the actual humming sound. Antithesis is when you talk about two opposite things in the same breath. So poor men, rich men. He talks of two opposite things together. This is the rhyme scheme. Is ABCB, and these are the rhyming words. Poor door इतना rhyming नहीं है, but for the sake of spelling, हम इसको we'll consider it as rhyming. Untrue few, frown down, light night, blow no. Rest of them are all rhyming. Okay. Now you can write your own short poem on friendship. This is mine. You can write your own. A friend is there when times are tough and stays beside us through the pain. With love and care and kindness true, they bring us happiness again. A friend will never leave our side, nor change when life is going wrong. True friends give courage, hope, and care, and make our hearts feel safe and strong. Nice? Isn't it a lovely poem on friendship? Okay, so we've done the table. We've identified the rhyme scheme of the stanzas. We've written a short poem on friendship. We've done appreciation of so many poems. You know the format. You write the name of the poem, the name of the poet, the theme, the summary, and your opinion on the poem. Okay? That is appreciation. Okay, so this is the appreciation. The title of the poem is Money. The poem is written by William Davis. The theme, the poem deals with the difference between money and true happiness. And it shows the difference between false and genuine friendship, real friends and fake friends. The poetic devices in the poem are simile, repetition, inversion, onomatopoeia, and antithesis, and the rhyming scheme is ABAB. तो ये जो आपके टेबल में जो थे, ये सब आप अपनी poem appreciation में डाल सकते हैं. You can put all of these in your poem appreciation. The language is simple, clear, and meaningful. The poet uses his own experience of becoming poor to explain the value of true friendship. The poem teaches us that money cannot buy true happiness or genuine friendship. Difficult times help us identify our real friends. I like the poem because its message is realistic and useful in everyday life. It reminds us that true friendship is more valuable than wealth. ये आप अपना opinion, you will write it at the end of the poem when you're writing the appreciation of the poem. ठीक है? You can read other poems by the same poet. Now this is career opportunities related to finance and planning. इनकी information आप इंटरनेट से निकाल सकते हैं. ये कौन कौन से जॉब्स हैं और इनकी ये पोम्स हैं कुछ जो विलियम डेविस ने लिखी हैं. आप इनको इंटरनेट पे पढ़ सकते हैं. आप नाम डालेंगे लेजर पोम बाय विलियम डेविस और आपको ये पोम ऑनलाइन मिल जाएगी. और अ ग्रेट टाइम बाय विलियम डेविस एंड यू विल बी एबल टू रीड दिस पोम ऑन द इंटरनेट. आप ये गूगल पे नाम डालेंगे और पोएट का नाम डालेंगे तो आपको ये पोम मिल जाएगी. These are some careers related to finance and planning. Financial managers plan and control the financial activities of our organizations. Companies, banks, and financial institutions में finance management होता है. Then there is banking and finance. ये money से related सारे jobs हैं. तो लोग बैंक में काम करते हैं, SIP में काम करते हैं और शेयर बाजार में काम करते हैं. These are all markets and fields related to money. Loans दिलाते हैं, investments कराते हैं, accounts खोलते हैं, and other financial systems. Then there are those trading करते हैं. These are all banking and finance related jobs. Actuaries use mathematics, statistics, and financial theory to calculate financial risks, especially for insurance and investments. So, sub investments में actuaries are needed. Economics have to do with economy, money, resources, market, business. So, and then there is the share market where you buy and sell shares. Accounts, you see, हमने बात की थी ना. Accountants maintain financial records, they prepare accounts with taxation and other things. Then there are company secretaries who handle legal and admin matters. And they make sure people are following government rules and regulations. कि वो सरकार के कोई rules and regulations ना तोड़े. So these are some careers related to money and finance. Economics is a very important subject in which you can pursue a career, browse the websites of these institutions and get information on various courses in economics. So these are various institutions. आप इनका नाम डालेंगे इंटरनेट पे तो आपको पता, इनकी वेबसाइट पे आप जाएंगे, you will be able to know what courses. Let me just do one for you. जब आप डालेंगे दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स तो आपकी ये वेबसाइट खुल जाएगी. Okay, it says this is not a secure site. This has the list of courses, who all are the teachers there, then they have these emails and phone numbers, syllabus. तो आप इनकी वेबसाइट पे जाके ये डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह के डिमाइस के यहाँ पे इन्होंने डाला हुआ है. दिस इज द दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स. आप यहाँ पे जाएंगे तो उनके डिपार्टमेंट्स का आपको पता चल जाएगा, आपको उनके कोर्सेज का पता चल जाएगा. Right? So you can explore this website. There are also contact details. You can send them, this is their location, you can send them emails. Okay. So like this, you can go to this list of colleges that we have and learn more about them, right? ये हमारे 4 economics के colleges or institutes के यहाँ पे details हैं. You can Google them and find out more about them. So that's the end of our chapter. For a quick recap, what I want you to do is, हम उसकी summary एक बार दोबारा पढ़ लेते हैं to understand इस poem में what is the poet trying to say. The poet says that when he had money, he had many friends, but those friends were not true. When he became poor and had no money, all those friends left him. Only a few genuine friends stayed with him. So he says, the poet also observes that poor people often have happier and more peaceful hearts than rich people. Rich people have more money, but they have bigger problems as well. Rich people may have money, but they can be worried, unhappy, or proud. The poet feels that rich people should sometimes experience poverty so that they understand the value of true friendship and happiness. And the main message of the poem is, Money can attract false friends, but difficult times tell us who our real friends are. Real happiness does not depend on money. Having said that, that doesn't mean we don't need money. We need money for daily life. But पोइट का कहना है कि हमें पैसे के पीछे पागल नहीं होना चाहिए. We should value good friends. We should value relationships. Okay? Let's have a quick look at the summary of the poem.
कवी म्हणतात की जेव्हा त्यांच्याकडे पैसा होता तेव्हा त्यांचे अनेक मित्र होते, पण ते मित्र खरे नव्हते. जेव्हा ते गरीब झाले आणि त्यांच्याकडे पैसा उरला नाही, तेव्हा ते सर्व मित्र त्यांना सोडून गेले. केवळ काही मोजकेच खरे मित्र त्यांच्यासोबत राहिले. कवींचे असेही निरीक्षण आहे की श्रीमंतांच्या तुलनेत गरिबांची मने अनेकदा अधिक आनंदी आणि शांत असतात. श्रीमंतांकडे पैसा असू शकतो, पण ते चिंतेत, दुःखी किंवा अहंकारी असू शकतात. कवींना असे वाटते की श्रीमंतांनी कधीतरी गरिबीचा अनुभव घ्यावा, जेणेकरून त्यांना खऱ्या मैत्रीचे आणि आनंदाचे महत्त्व समजेल. मुख्य संदेश: पैशामुळे खोटे मित्र आकर्षित होऊ शकतात, तर कठीण काळ खऱ्या मित्रांची ओळख करून देतो. खरा आनंद केवळ पैशावर अवलंबून नसतो.
Right? So, that's the main message of the poem. So, class ke baad beta, you will get this resource which has the icebreaker questions. It has the summary in simple language. It has the line by line explanation of the entire poem. ठीक है? हर स्टैंजा की एक एक लाइन का मीनिंग बहुत सिंपली समझाया हुआ है इसमें. Then here is the theme of the poem, the moral of the poem, and these are the brainstorming questions. जो हमारी बुक के पीछे क्वेश्चंस हैं, ये उसके आंसर्स हैं. ठीक है? आफ्टर द क्लास यू विल ऑल्सो गेट ये पूरा वो जो हमने अभी डिस्कस किया है वो सारा रिसोर्स है. क्लास के बाद आई विल ऑल्सो शेयर विद यू दिस एंटायर रिसोर्स जो उसी पोम पे बेस्ड है, जो आपको रिवाइज करने के लिए और पोम को टू अंडरस्टैंड द पोम, दिस रिसोर्स इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. ओके, आई शेयर बोथ रिसोर्सेज विद यू immediately after the class. All right, bete, any questions? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Poem समझ में आई?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your hands. How many of you understood the
Yes,
poem?
ma'am.
Very good. Though yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Chaitanya also said yes. Okay. Good. बहुत simple poem है. अब अगर पोम का मेन आइडिया अगर आप समझ गए, देन यू जस्ट नीड टू राइट एंड प्रैक्टिस फॉर स्पेलिंग्स एंड सेंटेंसेस. राइट? आपको पोइट पता होना चाहिए, आपको मेन आइडिया पता होना चाहिए, और आपको वर्ड्स की मीनिंग्स पता होना चाहिए, सो दैट यू आर एबल टू यूज देम इन योर आंसर्स. ऑल राइट बेटे, आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास.
Yes, ma'am.
ऑल राइट, बाय.
Bye, ma'am.
बाय बेटे.
Good night, ma'am.
गुड नाइट
Bye.
बेटे.
Good night, ma'am.
गुड नाइट बेटे. गुड नाइट. मैम प्लीज स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग.